Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So, I have some fun little card ideas that I want to share with you that feature some of the products from the April 2022 Paper Pumpkin Kit. So, these are some of the alternate cards that I put together with some of the materials from the kit. And then I'm going to kind of walk you through how to put these together, and then I'll show you a couple other project ideas. So, good morning. Good morning. Hello. Hi, Lori and Pam and Julie. Thank you guys for joining me. So, these are the cards, um, and they're really simple to do. So, I'll show you how to create all 5 of these cards. They're very easy. So, let me just put these to the side for the moment. But I want to show you the kit cards first. Good morning. So these are the cards from the kit. I'll show them to you one at a time here. So the kit had enough materials to create 9 cards, so 3 of each of the 3 different designs. So this is one of the designs. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. So it's just a really cute and simple card. And then there were 2 fun fold cards in this month's kit. So they're little Z fold cards. So they open like this. And then you can just decorate them, add the little decorations that come in the kit and then add your little greetings. So they were really beautiful and very easy to put together. So that's one. And then the other one is here. Just really pretty. So these are the 3 cards from the kit. So I always put together at least whatever the projects are. So in this case, there were 3 cards. So I put together one of each of the 3 cards. And there were some coordinating envelopes. So let me find those here. I don't have all the envelopes because I ended up cutting them up to create some more cards. So there's coordinating envelopes that go with these particular cards. So I cut up the card bases. I know I love Z fold cards, but I did love the images that were on here, and I came up with a couple fun ideas for you. So if you have this month's kit, hopefully you will enjoy these ideas. Now, what did I just do with my cards? I set them down and now I can't find them. So I'm going to show you. Oh, I put them behind me. I'm going to show you how to create some of these cards. So let me just organize myself here. So we're going to start out with this one. So I'm going to bring back the regular card. So this is what the kit card looks like. So all I did is I opened this up and I just cut apart this card base because it had a fun design on the front and the back. So I cut it apart to create this card. So let me show you how I did that. Bring over all my pieces. I decided to use the Brilliant Rainbow dies to create this. So the first thing I did is just start with a piece of yellow cardstock. So this happens to be, I think this is Bumblebee cardstock, but you can use the crushed Curie, which I think is what coordinates with the kit. So I'm just going to add this right to the front here. So when I cut apart the card base, I cut it down to 5 1/4 by 4 inches so that when I adhered it to my card base, I had a little bit of matting around it. So you can see I have a little bit of yellow matting around here. So that's all I did with that. And then I just used some of the clouds from the kit. Good morning. Good morning. I see all these good mornings. It's nice to be able to see your comments. Okay, so I'm going to add these little clouds. These little clouds came in the kit. Oh, got dimensionals everywhere. So I just added them, kind of the same way the kit showed us how to add them. I just added these to the front. And then there was a little star, bunch of little stars that came in the kit. So I just added that right up here. So that's what the front looks like. And then on the inside, I'll show you what the inside of this one looks like. On the inside, I just added my little rainbow image. So the first thing I have to do though is stamp that little greeting up in the corner. Let me grab that. I thought I had this one out, but I guess not. Sorry, guys. Usually I'm very organized, have it all ready to go. Yesterday threw me off a little bit. I had my grandbaby's birthday party and I had my honor flight event with my team. So I got a little thrown off. There we go. So you stamp your little greeting on there, and then I just used some of the leftover paper from the Rainbow Sunshine and Rainbows DSP pack. That was from Celebration. So I didn't have a sun or anything to put on the inside. I could have created one, I guess, but I thought I would just put the rainbow on the inside. So then I just popped up my little rainbow, and that's what the inside looks like. So you can decorate it any way you want. You know, if you have a sun image, or if you want to create something, you know, using your circle shapes, you can certainly do that. We'll tuck this under here. So all these little die cuts that I'm using came from the Brilliant Rainbow dies, in case you have that. And that's what I did. So that's one of the alternate cards. So this is what the kit card looks like on the inside. Kit card had that already printed on the inside, and I just changed mine to a little rainbow. So very simple. It's just a kind of a fun way to use, you know, the front part of this card base here. So of course, when I created the front, let's see, where did my other one go? I had to do something with the back of the card base. So when I cut apart this card base, I created that one card with the front. And then this is the card I created with this back piece. So again, I just cut it down to 5 1/4 by 4. And here is what I created. So you just use a piece of black cardstock. So this, I'm just using the standard card base. So this is the 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So that's how you create the base. And then here, see, here's the sun. I was going to use this, but then I decided I wanted to use the stars. So I'm just going to adhere this right to my card base here. And then the other thing I did is I cut apart those envelopes. So there were 3 different envelopes. Let me bring those back so you can see those. So there were 3 different styles of envelopes. I'll have to find the pieces of the pink one because I used the pink one. So there was a pink one, and then there's this blue and green, and then there's the yellow one with the stars. So really all I did was take apart my envelopes. You just pull up on the edge of the envelope. You guys are probably all freaking out that I'm taking apart the envelope. The envelopes are very pretty. Don't get me wrong, they're very pretty. But you can just take apart your envelope, open it up like this. And then you can use this envelope as designer paper. So I just cut my 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece right out of the center here. And then I used like the top envelope flap and the bottom envelope flap to just, I cut them smaller, cut like some smaller pieces just to create some of the other cards that I'm going to show you. So that's what I did with my envelopes. I took them all apart. And in this case, I took them all apart and I used like this part of the envelope to lay, let me grab it and see where it is. Well, I must not have it handy. Oh, here it is. So I just used the Rainbow of Happiness, and there's this big die in here. So I just laid this die right on this flap of the envelope, and then I cut out all the pieces. So you can actually make a bunch of cards. You don't have to just make one. So I did that with all 3 of the different colors to create my little rainbow. So you can see I have the pink, and then I have the blue and the green, and then the yellow. So I cut it 3 different times. And then I'm just using the 4 different pieces here to create this little card. So I was inspired to create this by there was like a sample card idea on the Paper Pumpkin Kit flyer that came with my kit. So I thought, oh, that's really pretty with the black background. So that's what I decided to do. So now I'm just adhering all these little pieces, and then we'll have a really pretty little card here. And the nice thing about this die is that if you line it up with the edge, like the edge of your cardstock or the edge of your card front, either one, it's very easy to line everything up. They line up perfectly. All right. So we'll add this last piece. And there we go. So now we have a pretty little rainbow on our card. And then I just used my cloud punch to cut out a little cloud, and then I stamped one of the sentiments or greetings from the Paper Pumpkin Kit right on here. So I am going to add just a little dimensional here, and then we'll add this to the card. So part of my cloud is going to hang over onto the rainbow, so that's where I put my glue, and the other part is going to hang off the rainbow, so that is where I have my dimensional, just like that. And then you can decorate it. There were some cute little like stone embellishments in the kit, and you can decorate it any way you want. So there you go. So that's how I used the front and back of this kit card. So there's the front and the back. I'll bring this back. So you can get 2 cards. If you cut apart this card base, you can get 2 different cards instead of just one. All right, so we'll put these to the side, and then I will show you the next one. So the next thing I did is I took one of these Z-fold cards. This is one of the cards from the kit, and I cut it apart. So I cut it apart into 2 different pieces. I cut apart this piece. So all you have to do is put it in your paper trimmer, and you just cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4. And then I used this piece, this folding piece, to create an additional card. So I created 2 cards from this. So I can actually show you what that looks like. I have to move my stuff. I got stuff everywhere. So let me grab my paper trimmer, and I'm going to actually show you what I did. Oh, I have butterflies everywhere. So here's one of the cards. They're both Z-folds. They're both exactly the same. So all you have to do is open it up. And I don't cut right on that fold because you always get a really bad cut when you try to cut on cardstock that's creased already. So you can just either cut it down this way, or you could just turn your cardstock and line it up at the, let's see, 5 1/4 mark. So I want 5 1/4. And it'll cut right before that. It'll cut right before that fold. So that's 5 1/4. And then I'm going to cut it down to 4. So it's just 5 1/4 by 4. So then you have your piece for one card. And then you have this folded piece, and I used this full folded piece on my card. So you can see there's a score line right there. So I lined this up just as close as I could to this front flap here, and then cut that off. And then you have a perfect little folding card. All right, so now I have two pieces. So now I have two pieces that I can use to create a card. So what I did for mine, we're going to use, so I just cut up this card. That's the one I just showed you how to cut up. This is the one I cut up. And then I cut up this one as well. I cut it the same way. So I'm going to show you how to create some cards with this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is use that large piece. And we will create, I think I moved it. Here it is. We will create this card with it. So you just take this 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece, and we'll add it right to the front. So I'm just using white cardstock for my base. There we go. And then we just decorate it. So I just took one of the greetings and just stamped it on a 1/2-inch wide piece of white cardstock. And then, of course, you guys know me and my doilies. I had to add a little piece of a doily. So this is just a 1/4-inch piece that I added right behind here. And then we just pop it up on the card. And then these other pieces that I have here, they came in the kit. So since I didn't put together the other two Z-fold cards in this design, I just used those little florals to decorate my card front. So we'll add this on there. Oop. And then we'll take this and add that floral right at the top. And then we'll add one more. So that's how simple it is to create yet another beautiful card. Doily and tiered paper. Yep, that's my trademark. And the long tail bows. Okay, so there's one. And then with the other piece, so of course, when you cut apart that Z fold, then you end up with a little folded piece like this. So then that other piece, I just decided to use it to create just a kind of a little fun fold just on a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4-inch piece. So the only part of this card that opens is this part right here. So I should make the screen bigger for you guys. Should have done that earlier. There we go. Okay, so I will show you how to do this. So we're going to start with just a piece of cardstock. This is not a full card. This is just like just a piece of cardstock that's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Then I took one of those envelopes, like I showed you, and I cut it down to 5 1/4 by 4 inches so that I had a nice piece of designer paper to add to the front of my card here. So this is actually one of those envelopes that I'm using. So you put that right on the front. And then you take your little fun fold section here. So I created a little, just kind of a little insert for the inside of my card. So I stamped a little greeting on it. And this one, what size did I make this? This is 2 1/4 by 4. So this little white piece is 2 1/4 by 4. So that will fit right on the inside of this. And then you have a nice little border. And then, of course, I have my little doily again. So it's just a little quarter of a doily. And this I'm just putting on this side of my card just to kind of dress it up a little bit. And then we can go ahead and adhere this to our card front. So it's just kind of a fun way to use this little piece to create kind of a different style card. Here we go. And so that's what it looks like. And then these little pieces, this little piece here, I just created using some of the materials from the kit. So we can just add that right across the top. So it does hang over this card a little bit. So I like to just add my dimensionals directly to my card. That way I don't end up with dimensionals hanging off the card when I have pieces that hang off the card. So then I can just lay this right on top. And then I don't have to worry about this side having any dimensionals on it. So I hope that makes sense. So that's what I did with the other part of the Z-fold card. So let me bring this back. So these are the two cards that I created from this one Z-fold card. So this is that front flap, and then this is this back piece here. So there you go. So, okay, so that's what we've done. We've done 4 cards so far. And then I decided to play around with the envelopes a little bit. And I created another card. So let me grab this one. So this is the 5th card that I want to show you. So this is, again, just that leftover piece from cutting apart the envelope. So all I did was just cut it down to 2 by 5 1/4. And so I'll adhere that first. So we'll add that to this side. And there's my doily again. Then this time I did a half of a doily. So these are those heart and home doilies. They are in the mini catalog if you are interested in doilies like I am. So we'll just add that half a doily right there. And then there was a large floral that was in the kit that we use for the Z-fold card. So I had extras of those since I cut apart my Z-fold card. So this is just going to go right here in the center. And I just popped it up with some dimensionals. Oops. And then I was just using up some scrap pieces of the envelope. So I think this is a 1/2 inch wide by 3 1/4. So I'll just add that. So this is one of those little yellow pieces that I had left. So we'll just add this down on the bottom here. And then again, I created a little greeting. And so that just kind of goes off the bottom of the floral. We'll put some dimensionals on there. And so this will go right here. And then I used up some of the other little floral pieces just to kind of decorate this card. So I'll add that. And then the last thing I did is I just used one of the images from the set just to add a little bit more stamping to the project. So up on the top, I added just one of those little images, and then down on the bottom, I did the same thing. I think this is my favorite card, everybody. So, so in the kit, you got a little Melon Mambo Stampin' Spot. So I tend to just use my own ink because I have that ink. So this is probably my favorite out of all the cards. But let me know which one was your favorite. So let me bring these back. I'll show you the alternates that I created. So let's get them up here. There's these. And then these are the other two. So there's some. And then I'm just going to show you a couple other alternate ideas. So here's another one where I just used the envelopes. So these pieces that are in the background are just cut up envelopes. That's all it is. And then besides the big roses that were in the kit, there were some big butterflies. So I just used those to decorate the card. Let's see if I can get these all on the screen here. And then when I cut up the other, this one that I showed you, when I showed you how to cut up this other Z fold card, this is one of the cards that I created. So it's the same concept as this one. I just used that other Z fold to create this little card. And I did it in a different orientation. So instead of portrait style here, I did it in landscape style here. So instead of portrait, I did it in landscape. So that one turned out really cute. And then I used up the other rainbow pieces that I had cut from the envelope just to create just a couple more rainbow cards. So just very simple, but very, very cute little cards. All right, so I think that was all of the cards that I had for you today. So let me come back on. There you go. All right, so that's what I have for you today. Just some fun ways that you guys can use the Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you want to get more cards than just 9, the best way to get more cards is to just cut apart the card bases that are in the kit and just use them differently. So that's what I did. So by the time I get done finishing up with this last card here, I should have about 20 different alternatives or 20 cards, about 8 different designs from cutting up the different card bases in the kit. So, all right, you guys. So that was the Change is Beautiful, is what it's called. Change is Beautiful. That was the April Paper Pumpkin Kit. So you can't get this kit anymore. But I would recommend getting in on the May kit, which is called Celebrating in Color. So that kit is going to be all about the In Color collection, the new 5 In Colors that are coming out. So I highly recommend that if you love the new In Colors. That's a great way to get to start making some cards with the new colors. Plus, they're doing a little giveaway. So they have a little golden ticket that they hid in, like, I think it was 200 Paper Pumpkin kits that they're going to put those in randomly. So you have a chance to win some free products. I think I can't remember if it's a $20 or $25 uh, um, like product credit. So anyways, you can find the link to Paper Pumpkin and how to subscribe, what it's all about in the description with this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I will see you guys all here again next week. So take care, everybody.